Shalom, Kol Halal, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakaha Kwadash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops, salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. The would-be judges, the 144,000, and the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners among the heathen nations that have the appearance of the heathen nations. This is not a black only thing, all right? It's not a color thing, but it's an Israelite thing, and the Israelites are scattered among all nations, all people, and are going to come looking like all people. And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. Do not get it twisted. The primary body of the Israelites are the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. But going back to the statement before, the Israelites are still scattered among all people. So with that, we're just going to jump right into this lesson. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson in truth. And I'm just going to get a couple scriptures and jump right into this. This is Job 13:4. And it reads, "But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value." All right, so Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, he fabricates and makes up statements, and he loves acronyms. All right, and finds a way to get around actual history. So here's the definition that AI has put up for critical race theory. All right, and instead of putting history there, they put theory. Okay, as if these things, as if all the information. I have a book up in the front, my front library, called a book called Without Sanctuary, that categorizes hangings after slavery during the Reconstruction period, slavery's hangings during the Jim Crow period, all the way up until like the 80s, and of mainly Negroes, but natives, some Italians, and some Irish, because if you know your history, you would know that there are Israelites among them. All right, the original Irish were so-called black. Dublin means the city of black. If you check out that movie that's out right now, Sinners, they profile the natives, the Irish, and the Negroes. There's a reason for that, because the original Irish, the real Irish, were Negroes, and they left a lot of seed among the pale women. So there's a lot of Irish people who came out, looking pale. Okay, the same as and if you learn about Oliver Cromwell and his brother, the Cromwell brothers, and you learn that history, I have that on a book on the shelf behind me called The Negro Question, Volume 4, and it gives you the whole breakdown of of Oliver Cromwell and his removing the Negroes out of Ireland. All right, and so how people just try to ignore that history and call it what you see on the screen. All right, critical race theory is intellectual and social movement. All right, and they love to categorize things that analyzes how racism have shaped America's laws, policies, and institutions. It argues that race is socially constructed category used to oppress and exploit people of color, and that race is embedded in the legal system and other structures of power. How could you say that it's not? So what they're doing is they're projecting, all right? And they're trying to project their truth over, or a false truth over what really is the truth. Race is a social construct. CRT challenges the notion that race is biological or natural category. I guess CRT does, meaning it is something that you made up. Critical race history does not. Okay. I could probably, pull up images of people who look pale, that have Negro fathers. All right. So that would mean people of color. So here we go. Let's just show you how that. Matter of fact, let's just put a hole in CRT right there. Let's destroy it. This is the first one that popped into my mind. And she's a great actress. She's not as pretty as she used to be. That's the Edomite genes, but she was a looker going back about a little over 10 years ago. Here we go. This woman right here. Because CRT is telling you the people of color. Well, this woman clearly has the appearance of a white woman, but her father, her biological father, the sperm that she came from, well, let's put up an image of her father. All right. Oh, well, here she actually is. That's Rashida with her dad. All right, and the whole world knows who that man is. He was a music mogul. All right, that's her biological father. His penis, the loins that she can't shot out of into her mother. All right. So what they're saying, their theory, so you have to look up the word theory, is a complete and total lie. Hence the reason why we read Job 13 and 4. But ye are forgers of lies. You are all physicians of no value. All right. They're physicians of no value. Because when you go back to the definition, it says that CRT claims that color that color doesn't determine race, and that it's a social construct that was created to benefit whites, and that the laws and the power structure in America has been. So that would deny that what they're doing is they're completely denying Jim Crow. They're denying redlining. They're denying the Land Act, the Indian Removal Act. So they're denying or in denial, cognitive of what they're doing, of denying their history, of denying what they actually did to get into power, and they want their children, they want white children to be taught that they are pious, upstanding people, and that they did not rape and rob and murder their little colored friends that they go to school with in order to get rulership and control over them. So this is what they like to talk about in their meetings and things. Okay? So now, cognitive synonyms, or synonyms, not synonyms, but synonyms. All right? Cognitive is an adjective. So it says relating to or involving the conscious mental activity such as thinking, understanding, or remembering. So they're cognitively, purposely thinking on how to get around the truth. All right? They're trying to be, here's some of the synonyms: analytic, reasonable, all right, consequent, logical, defensible. All right? So they're purposely trying to deny who they are and how they got in power. All right? So with that in mind, I'm going to play a couple short videos here. This isn't going to be a long video at all, but pretty condemning to the people who are the social construct that was created called whiteness. All right? When they're biblically the Edomites. They're the biblical Edomites.
Europeans come to this continent, literally ethnically cleanse the indigenous population out of existence, kill them on a scale that has hardly been equaled, and refer to them as savages. That's an achievement. Who's the savage? The first time I encountered this was in a little town in Massachusetts called Deerfield. It's a reconstruction of what that little town looked like in colonial America. And in front of each house is a plaque that explains something about this house. And then description. On the 18th of October of 1702, the savages attacked. The first time I saw this, the savages. You come in here, destroy everything these people have, and they are the savages. That's an interesting move.
It is.
You know?
I hadn't thought of that before.
Think about it.
I hadn't thought of that before, with a smile and a laugh. Cognitive denialism. All right. Cognitive denialism refers to the act of actively rejecting or ignoring facts, evidence, or truths that conflict with one's beliefs or values. It often in a way that resistant to the rational arguments or counter evidence. It's form of denial that extends beyond the simple forgetfulness and misinterpretation involving a conscious effort to resist accepting reality. That is the definition of CRT. Okay, let's give you one more receipt.
Europeans
Give you one more receipt. Come on now. One more receipt from my on-the-spot journalist, April O'Neil. All right. Just checked in. We went to my file with April, and here it is. All right.
Founding fathers made this great country. I'm going to stop you right there. The founding fathers owned slaves. The founding fathers had less access to education than a modern day 12-year-old. They don't know anything. I don't care what they wanted. I don't care what they think. It's unconstitutional. I should hope so. The Constitution was written by people who didn't think women should vote. The Constitution was written by people who had 15-year-old wives dying in childbirth. Frequently. The Constitution was written by people who had little cartoon Elmer Fudd shotguns, not automatic war machines capable of ripping down 100 children in a minute, and have, and will again. The whole point is to change. The whole point is to progressively make better decisions so we do not repeat the atrocities of our ancestors. If I was born at any other time in American history, I would have been burned at the stake or lobotomized. And we think the people doing that are the ones who know what should be going on today. We don't want to listen to the people who cured tuberculosis or decided, hey, maybe we shouldn't put lead in house paint. You are actively repeating the atrocities of your ancestors. You're doing it on purpose.
And she said automatic weapons that shoot down hundreds of children repeatedly. Well, he just told you that they exterminated the people off the land. And the cities, they burned down whole black towns, killed the children, killed the women, killed the men, stole the property. The courts and all the law enforcement they say in the CRT definition that's not involved. Well, in order to, you had to write up contracting documents in order to to take these people's money out of the bank. They couldn't even come back to the town or get their money out of the bank. So their properties that they had deeds to, all of a sudden are in the hands of so-called white people, but yet you call it CRT. No. What it is cognitive denialism. You're denying what you did. All right. The resistance to evidence. I love this part. And this really covers CRT. Resistance to evidence, denialists, which should just be called CRT, actively reject evidence or explanations that contradict their beliefs, even when represented with strong scientific or factual support. All right, so these people, it says that they're, let's get a couple scriptures and close this out. I think it's, what I'm looking for is, I think it's Psalms 58:3. Yep. Psalms 58:3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. The black guy did it. We all remember that video. All right. What was she all about? 3 or 4? With a face full of chocolate when she got caught eating the chocolate. All right. So that means she learned that. Blame it on the darkie. Psalms 58:4. Poison is as a poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear. You know how you have that little brother, little sister, when you're trying to tell them something and they cover up their ears and go la 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 la. That's what they do when the truth is spoken. And one of the forms, or one of the things that they call it, is CRT. Okay? And they just can't handle the truth. Well, there's a recompense coming to them, and it's not going to be good. So let's grab this last scripture. Had to come out, Deuteronomy 33 and 29. And it reads, Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people saved by Yahweh, the shield of thy help, who is the sword of thy excellency, and thy enemy shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places. All right, so remember, when faced with that that ugly thing that they call CRT, learn the definition of cognitive denialism, all right, and the resistance to evidence, and slap them right back in the face with it. You're going to hit them with it the same way they bring up John 3:16. Tell them to read the scriptures before it, and then go straight to John 17:9. All right. The truth. Matter of fact, one last scripture. And that's what this is all about. It's just a simple truth. And these people, they have, the pale male has to find any way to make himself look like he's an upstanding person, and that they're not wicked, and that they should be leaders. And the truth of the matter is they're the complete opposite of that. And when you have a house is built, literally built on bricks of lies. The truth is the last thing you need to hear, because the truth will bring your house down, and that's what's happening. This is 2 Ezra 6 and 27. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which have been so long without fruit shall be declared. Call halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rakah Kodash Kwam Yasharala Abad Babal.